I feel like all my 6th grade experience was a blur. I remember doing the same thing every day, waking up and going on Zoom. There was really no exciting part of my day, and frankly, it was quite boring and depressing. I made friends on Zoom, but what was there to do? I never got to see them in person, and barely even hung out on Zoom with them. But I remember one day, during a class, 2 of my teachers spoke about something called AVID, Advancement via Individual Determination. At the time, my sister was in high school, talking about her honor classes, advanced classes, and AP classes. I remember wanting to call AVID my honor class. I wanted to get in so much to be like my sister and almost impress her. I remember how excited I was when I got in and got to share it with her, but to get there, I went through a bit. First, there was a process of meetings, interviews, and essays about why we should get into AVID. I felt confident, even though I had no idea what this AVID was. I was the first in my family because my sister didn't go to the same middle school as me. So my instinct during my interview was to say a lot about not knowing anything. But this is when I wasn't able to answer some of the questions. It made me terrified that if I got in, I wouldn't fit in at all. I was scared that people would think I'm different and I wouldn't enjoy it. I knew I had a few friends trying to get in too, but what if something happened and I was all alone and felt humiliated in class every day? I didn't want to know what that was like. My worst fear was always the thought of being bullied. The first day of 7th grade feels like it was years ago. I didn't know what to expect coming from online school. It just felt different but normal. I remember waiting for AVID. I knew how many of my friends got in and were with me in that class. What I didn't know was that I was going to make a whole lot of new friends. During AVID, we went over the basics. Throughout the first few months, we learned about TRFs, a way to guide our learning from past weeks through tutorials as a group. Binder checks, something we do once a week to keep our binder neatly done and organized for learning. Cornell notes, a helpful study and work guide to remember and write down important things. Organization, simple as being neatly ready to learn, and even more. We talked about what we do and how we do it in AVID. Now that I've been in AVID for what again has felt like a year, I noticed how it's helped me by being more organized with homework and just in general. My binder is super neat because AVID has shown me resources to keep it organized. One of the things we talk about in classes is how to get a scholarship and how we might be the first in our family to go to college. I didn't struggle with any of that though, and that was what worried me about not fitting in. Both my parents went to college, and I grew up always knowing and thinking I was going to college too. Thoughts would go through my head whenever we talked about colleges or tuition. I thought people would call me out and make me feel like I took someone's spot who needed it more. But from my perspective, I never knew much about colleges or even college choices. Having AVID has actually helped me a lot by knowing what college is, what different colleges there are, and what studies I can do at each of the colleges. It's shown me more than telling me to go to college, and that's that. We've had guest speakers that go to colleges, talk about it, and are very helpful with questions. But really, AVID has helped me believe that I am amazing and unique, that I can imagine anything and be everything. That sentence is always hard for me, because I never thought I was amazing and talented. I would mess up on one thing and tell myself I'm not smart. But AVID has really told me I'm brilliant, compassionate, strong, hardworking, a leader, a learner, a friend to all. They taught me to never give up, and that means a lot. Of course, though, AVID is a giant family. I will always say the first time I knew I joined the family was when I forgot a TRF sheet the morning of TRF one day. My friend gave me a sheet, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have a TRF done at all. And my friends, or really everyone in AVID, is helpful. And if I needed help, I know I can ask them. And if I needed help, I know I can ask them in class and out of class. I can really say AVID is a community that I get to be in, and it's one of my favorite things. I've imagined so much because of AVID. It makes me wonder what I'd be like if I never joined AVID, or who I would be if I wasn't one of the amazing AVID scholars. I'm Sobota. Thank you, and good evening. Good night.